a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me, as always, is Ben Slinger.
I'm here. I'm near the microphone, so that's why you can hear me.
That's really good. So last week we had some fun with, doing some random movie stuff. We got a lot of horror games coming up, which was actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
So let's see what the random movie gods have for us today, and as we do the same thing again.
That's right.
We each have a random movie generator, and that'll, on the count of 3 to 1 movie, we'll get a random movie. We'll either take the plot of the movie, we'll take the names of the movies, we'll mash them together, whatever it is. We may even just take the picture of the movie and go, that has inspired me. It's all about inspiration. That's all we're doing. It's a kicking off point.
Yeah, that's it.
3 to 1 movie.
Yeah. R.O.C.K.Y.
Phineas and Ferb the movie, Candace against the universe.
Okay. I don't know
like
anything
the idea
about either of these franchises.
I like the name of Candace, and the fact that she's against the universe makes me interested in, and it kind of feels a little bit, Trover.
All right. Is this this is like a sci-fi thing. Candace is the main character, and R.O.C.K.Y. is her robot companion, the 5th iteration. Yeah. That she built herself.
Now, is it R.O.C.K.Y. as in R.O.C.K.Y?
Yes. It stands for Robotic Ocular.
Yep. Keep going.
Critical Combat with a K.
Yep. Yeah, because Mortal Kombat, yep.
Yeah, exactly. What am I? Robotic Ocular Critical Combat Yerbulator.
Very nice. So
I needed some sort of verb, and so I made one up.
Yeah, awesome. Well, it's the future. And
that's the word in the future.
And Candace is
Candace. Also an acronym?
No.
I'm not going to make you do that.
Cocktacular. Yeah, okay.
That's her surname, actually. Candace Cocktacular the Third.
Yeah, well, it's it's one of those things where, back somewhere in her past.
Well, her grandfather was the first Cocktacular. He was actually like a wrestler.
Originally, their name was Smith, but then, they realized, let's redo all the surnames because you've got nothing to do with the blacksmith anymore. So he did lots of penis tricks, and so
he was in the 1375th iteration of puppetry of the penis.
Exactly.
Chris Cocktacular.
Yeah.
So anyway, backstory done. Candace does not do penis tricks.
No, because she's a girl.
Yeah, well, she doesn't have a penis, so
yes.
She might have a few spares lying around from when she was building Rocky, but Rocky does have a penis.
Yes,
she doesn't use it necessarily. It's more just a visual. It's more of an aesthetic thing.
Sure. This is already going off the rails, but anyway. So Candace against the universe. Why is she against the universe?
I think she's just her whole life. She's been messed around. I think maybe she's been disowned by the Cocktacular family. Oh, the
Cocktacular empire.
Yeah, well, this is it. Fame and fortune came Chris Cocktacular's way, and he's that's carried on through his family. But there's
still lots of holovids out there that they sell.
Lots of what?
Holovids.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. Royalties still rolling in from that. And then they've, built the whole brand, merch and all sorts of things.
So I think this game is it starts off and she's sort of on the run, and maybe you start in media res where she's literally on the run and, smashes through the window, a robot with a really blurred out penis.
Yes, just the whole time.
And it's I bet you're wondering how I got into this mess. And it goes back to
it's full on. Yep.
Yeah.
It's just a close up on the robot. Just the everything freezes, but the blurring is still like shifting in
the and moving a little bit. Yeah,
pulsating.
And what I love is throughout all the you've seen Watchmen, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know how at the start they have the real slow motion thing where the camera's sort of moving across and it's gradually, it's sort of barely moving. There's all these scenes sort of happening about, you know, she's doing a bit of a voiceover as to how she got into this mess and all this sort of stuff. And all the time you just see, you know, the rippling blurred thing of Rocky just in the background and
it's that slow pan, like slow orbit around. The glass shards are, you know, very cleanly flying slowly through the air. And you can very clearly see that it is it's quite a large penis. Like it's flaccid, but it's like flopping a bit in with the motion of them jumping out the window. I don't know why I'm focusing so much on that, but it is funny.
Okay, so we know that basically the Cocktaculars have actually given her a bad rap, and she's all over the news right now, and basically everyone's after her because, like,
they think she's tried to murder Chris Cocktacular.
Yeah, like
he's now
he's now just a head.
33.
He's now just a head in a jar.
Yeah, but, there you go. He's a head in a jar and a penis in a jar.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's also blurred out. Just the head there and then the blurred out jar.
And then okay, hang on. And underneath it has got like a little plaque saying Family Jewels.
Yes, the Cocktacular Family Jewels.
So anyway, everyone thinks that, you know, she tried to kill Chris Cocktacular and now the Family Jewels are missing.
Right.
Then you find out that...
Is it Rocky's?
It's Rocky's.
They switched him. He has always had a penis, but it's got switched. But someone did it to frame her.
Yes. Turns out that it was actually R.O.C.K.Y. That has taken over Rocky.
R.O.C.K.Y.
Oh, her sister, yeah. And the sort of gameplay loop is, you know, sort of like a third person action adventure with, you know, the occasional
I can see kind of
bit
of interestingly stylized, not like super cartoonish necessarily, but not, you know, we're not going hyper realistic here.
No, you wouldn't want that flopping around in hyperrealism.
No, it does have physics on it though. We'll have to write a good system for like correctly blurring it out only when it's, you know, visible to the camera.
Only when it's flaccid.
Only when it's flaccid. So there's one scene in the game where for some reason Rocky's cock becomes functional.
It's like a horse.
It's actually a bug in the shader. It wasn't ready for that sort of turbulence.
It's one of those things that only blurs the base, but it's like grown outside of the blurredness.
You only had so many blurred pixels to go around.
And what I think she can make mention of there is, I should have made that algorithm that automatically blurs it out. So this is actually blurred in real life.
Yeah.
In-world blur.
Yeah, we can have people reference it and stuff then too. Yeah, that's funny.
See, that's really cool. And then it's really the future. So,
I do like it as just, a bit meta, a bit, you know, irreverent, but the characters are taking everything seriously in that way. Like it's, that's awesome. Really funny.
3-1 movie.
That's and I mean, what else would you expect from that combination of movies than the game we just came up with? I mean, it was just obvious.
I mean, who would have thought that, you know, a kid's cartoon and R.O.C.K.Y can be
Candace
so cocktacular?
The universe. Ocean's 13.
Red Notice.
Red Notice, okay.
Yep. The Netflix movie with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, okay. Never watched it.
And Interpol issued Red Notice as a global alert to hunt and capture the world's most wanted. But when a daring heist brings together the FBI's top profiler and two rival criminals, there's no telling what will happen.
Wacky hijinks ensue.
Wacky hijinks ensue because it's the top 13 criminals who come together and they do this massive, Ocean's 13-esque, elaborate.
All right. We can go with that. I was thinking we'd definitely take just the heist aspect of Ocean's 13 because that's just fun.
Yeah.
Whether it's 13 or people or not, that is a lot to manage. So maybe it's less, but
either way, we're taking the heist and the fact that we both got heist things.
Yeah. And I like the Red Notice thing. I like they're hunting them. They've gone rogue essentially, or have been framed to have gone rogue and be targeted by their own organization.
So maybe the heist is literally to get inside of Interpol and somehow scrub the Red Notice from the Interpol records.
Yeah.
So, if there's no Red Notice, then what they're doing is illegal. Right.
At
least that's the rules.
So
of the
that's
game.
it. Okay. So, all right, let's go through. I reckon we have 5 people involved. Who's the agent who's been Red Noticed?
It's random.
Oh, it's one of the because I wanted to have distinct personalities. Because I'm thinking you've got the FBI guy or whatever who's been Red Noticed. You've got he knows he needs a computer hacker, right? He needs a computer person because this needs to be removed from Interpol without a trace. He needs a lock cracker or whatever, the best in the business to get the computer guy in there. He needs a driver because if shit goes south, then you've got to be able to get away quick. And he needs a sharpshooter or something, or the muscle, or I don't know, something. I'm just trying to think of those roles. So that we can have some really strong archetypes and some really strong characters in there.
Yep. So what I want though is that Commandos sort of thing of all these things are happening at the same time.
I did think that for a second, but I also did think it could be really cool if each of those characters have their own play styles entirely. So the sharpshooter, it's actually like a long range sniper game. It's almost like Hitman Sniper or something.
How about if it's more like Spy Party?
Okay, in just a smaller number of people, you're having to identify. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think multiplayer though. This is single player, but it's okay, yes. Yeah, and there might be multiple missions with the sharpshooter, right? So one could be a larger area where you're having to take people out silently when they're not being seen. Another one might be a more spy party level where it's you have one bullet, you have one chance to figure out who you need to shoot in this party. And it's an observational thing,
It's not only an observational thing, but you can also get some of the other people can actually help you by,
you can call them up and say get whoever, get the FBI agent guys in there.
Because I'm imagining that there's a radio that's actually going on, that there's all this banter going on, and you can hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'd be really cool. All right, let's come up with some names. The FBI guy is,
his name's Red.
Of course. Yes.
It's Fred. It's actually Fred. And he's been given the red
but he's a
notice.
ginger.
Yeah.
And so they call him Red because it's a rhyme and so we've got Fred, which is a terrible FBI agent name, but I guess that's why he goes by Red. So we've got Red.
Yep.
We've got the sharpshooter who just goes by Jingle Bells. Which is ironic because they're super silent. They have to be quiet.
Yeah.
There was an incident. That's all. We don't talk about that.
The computer hacker's name is Candace.
Okay. Yeah.
No relation.
No relation.
But her surname is Cocktacular. It's just no relation.
The lockpick guy is Rocky.
Yeah.
Again, no relation. But he's the fifth Rocky.
Yeah.
And then who do we have left? What should we say?
Driver. Baby Driver. So it's kind of like that movie Baby Driver by Edgar Wright, but it's Toddler now. So the nickname is Toddler.
Grown up a little bit. Okay, Toddler. His name's Todd. But they call him
Todd. Yeah.
Okay, so in like the party level, Red, I think, is in there. He's like schmoozing. He's talking to people. He's getting information out. And yeah, you've got the radio stuff going back and forth. Because then you get those great scenes where you're like looking down the scope, you see Red there. When he talks, is like you see him kind of surreptitiously, into his cufflink or something,
talking right into the, the small of his elbow or whatever.
Just keeps coughing. Everyone keeps moving away from him because they think he's got COVID because he keeps coughing into his elbow. He's just talking to you.
It's like, hey, Red, we need you to clear the room a little bit. Oh, I know exactly how to do that. Achoo, achoo. Oh my God, I can't stop sneezing since I had COVID last week. Everyone clears. It's like, did that do it?
It's like there's one person left that for whatever reason, they don't care about COVID and you know that's the person you have to shoot. But yeah, I think, and having the banter, and you've got Toddler in the car, waiting, and yeah, that's really cool. And then, so I think,
the driver levels are actually very close to, Driver San Francisco sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like as a getaway driver, you're racing down streets, dodging people, dodging other cars. Like
it's burnout, basically.
Yeah, or burnout. Yeah, I mean any sort of racing or just Hot Pursuit or whatever, that sort of game. You're just trying to get away.
Yeah. The computer hacking is,
that can be.
Just wonder if it's like a hacknet or something like that style.
You could do some
game.
of that sort of stuff. I feel like you probably wouldn't put a ton of time not a ton of time into it. That there wouldn't be a ton of the computer hacking gameplay. You'd maybe switch back to that character when it's time rather than, spending a lot of time in there. But I like the idea of, it's mostly, clicking around, maybe doing some, bouncing between IP addresses, whatever. You make it really techno-babblish, but make it feel like you're hacking. And then you have scenes where you're like going through the files, which are bringing new evidence to light or finding things. And then you've got the banter going as you're discovering it, right? Because like everyone's sort of seeing at the same time.
And what was Rocky again?
Like a lockpick guy.
So
that could maybe be like stealth or something. Like you maybe have to clear the way.
Yeah,
he's way.
He's got like he's got
Sam Fisher moves.
Sam Fisher, Splinter Cell sort of stuff. Yeah. That's cool.
Definitely.
And having to know when to switch between them, and essentially you've at any time you can actually switch between someone as they're having their bantering conversation, so you can actually get the feel as to, that's what's going on right now. Like,
yeah.
Ooh, what could actually be interesting is what if you switch between a person when they're talking?
Oh, God. That could get disorienting. I do like the idea of switching mid-mission sometimes, but you're saying you see their perspective, whatever they're doing at that time.
So while they are talking, you control them and you get to sort of make a decision during that time, and then it moves on. Like there's stuff happening while you're not necessarily playing.
Maybe not every time, because then I feel like if you want the banter going on, and you obviously don't want to be switching back and forth. But in the way that those heist movies do a lot of that, like slide in split screen sort of stuff, that you will have times where it's like, as the banter's going, that their screen slides in, you sort of see what they're doing, and then it slides across, and now you're controlling that character for a while for that part of the mission, and this real stylish kind of thing. And you do do more with that split screen stuff for like when stuff's happening,
and almost that 24 idea of well of like, you're still in the setup phase, so the driver is now pulling up, and you've got to,
and you see that
you've got to do the final, the park.
The parallel park.
You got to do the parallel park. It's like highly technical and all this sort of stuff. Don't hit the cones sort of thing. And, during the training mission, it was like, you had to park in between the cones and all this sort of stuff. I don't know. It's just
if you hit a cone, it's game over. You have to go back to the start of the unskippable cutscene. No, I love that. I like that a lot, though.
I know.
It could be a really neat little story. I feel like it's not a long game necessarily, like a 5 or 6 hour, a few, like 4 or 5 missions where you're switching back and forth between them. It's fairly linear, but just the style of it, the banter, the story.
There's something
really
about
cool.
if you could somehow work it out, like from like a Fiasco sort of point of view as well, like you got that tilt that can sort of happen, which kind of happens in the movies anyway.
Well, I mean, that's what Fiasco's trying to emulate, right? Is that generally you will have a tilt sort of thing. But yeah, I like the idea of affecting it in some way. That you might get different endings or something based on how things have turned out in a bunch of different scenes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But the idea of like the twist of Red has actually organized, if this goes down, then actually there's a secret exit out of here, and he can wear, the police uniform to get out, and everyone else all of a sudden is wearing the police uniforms, and they all walk out together, and it's like, yeah, this is part of the plan the whole time.
Yeah.
Rocky's got a blur.
It's the bulge.
Oh god!
Rocky's
3-1 movie. That was good though. Like,
I like that. Yeah. Ocean's 12.
The Illusionist.
Chances. Okay, I'm re-rolling. I'm not doing another. Although a heist movie with illusions could be cool.
It could be.
Heist game.
I mean, it's literally Now You See Me. Like,
yeah, that's true. Bound by Honor.
The Illusionist.
Although the poster seems to say this is also called Blood In, Blood Out. Or that might just be the tagline for it or something. But it's bigger than the actual title that it says that it is. It's sort of gang violence in the 70s. I don't know that we really want to set a game in that sort of scenario, but a gang of magicians. Is this like the mean streets?
the mean streets outside of
the Magic Castle.
The Magic Castle, and
the gangs of magicians.
They're like performing. You've got like the close-up magician gang. You've got like the big showcase.
They're walking down clicking, but as they click, like cards are falling out.
Then you got the nerdy gang, which is all about the coin magic and all this sort of stuff. Which again is a subset. I mean, that's kind of close-up magic.
I wonder if it's more. Yeah, I wonder if it's more like you've got the close-up magic. I think there's just the two gang. Like I think you just have the two factions, and it's like the close-up magic, and then like the big show. David Copperfield,
escape sort of
escapologists.
But the thing is about those, they don't actually really do the magic. It's all the assistants. It's the assistants that do all the actual work.
Yeah.
So all they do is they stand posing and shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
The close-up magicians are literally having to do stuff, and the main magicians are
and that's part
pulling
of
back a cut.
That's all. That's the whole that's why they hate each other.
That's the beef.
Yeah, that's the beef that they have. It's like, you fucking show magicians aren't real magicians. You're not doing stuff, and they're like, we designed them. And as
but you share it with other people. The close-up magicians, they're all loners, and they work on their own, and they don't share their tricks with anyone.
Their tricks, yeah. They're really out there to impress each other. Like, the best thing that a close-up magician can do is trick another close-up magician, because the plebs on the street, they'll be won over by any little trick.
Including big showmen.
Well, yeah, but then the show magicians, the big show magicians, they're all about the spectacle for the audience, for the
I'm picturing that you're playing. I think it's kind of
you're
like
playing an actual wizard
named Harry
Snotter.
Harry Balls.
Harry Balls and his good pals,
Harry
Candace and Rocky.
Skyhead. Harry Skyhead. He's got a lightning bolt scar.
Oh, I know, yeah. The boy who didn't die when he might have. No, I think we'll stay away from the actual wizardry.
Yeah. What I think is maybe this is kind of like The Departed sort of thing, where you've got someone who is a close-up magician, but he's now like on the showman side.
Do we take this? Yeah. Do we have everyone taking it completely seriously?
Oh, 100%. It is.
It's a
super serious.
On, yeah, like gang war. Nobody addresses the fact that they're all magicians, and that's just ridiculous. It's totally taken seriously the whole time.
Oh yeah, and there's a magician killing, and then the gun is just gone because the close-up magician is just.
Well, I was going to say,
walks away.
Is it a case of
they had a mask on, so they were like a masked magician, and and
doesn't the masked magician give away the secrets?
He takes the mask off.
Or maybe this is part of it. Maybe someone is giving away some secrets, and both sides are like, "That is not fucking on." And so they're sort of like they're at each other, but they're both trying to hunt down who this person is. And they have killed someone also.
I do like the idea of like you go to the magic castle and the two families have come together, and I think it's set in like a dystopian future sort of thing.
You reckon? I kind of was still picturing it in the 70s.
1970s, yeah. It's kind of cool. And this is the unspoken magic war that
it's
went
going
down
on under everyone's noses, and no one knows because they're so
at the end of this is where they come together to because really what
Don Penn and Don Teller from the two
from the showman's yeah.
Well, that always
they
fit,
say
like
Penn says bullshit a lot, and
but Teller's the close-up, close-up master, and Penn is very showy and talkative and yells a lot.
Yeah,
kind of works.
I like the idea that they don't actually say their names at all, and it's only at the very, very end when it's like they shake hands, and the one with a really deep voice goes, "G'day, my name's Teller." It's like bullshit. He does actually talk, but
he not on stage, but he talks. Yeah. He's been on podcasts and stuff. He talks to people. Yeah, I like that though, and I think you model them after. I think though, like if you think about it closely enough, they're not like direct caricatures of them, but one's smaller and has the sort of fluffyish hair, and the other one's a big guy, and yeah.
Although he's not so big anymore,
well, but tall. I mean, tall. Guy. Yeah,
he's 7'5".
I mean, Penn's pretty tall. He's not quite that, but I think he's like 6'7" or something.
Imposing guy. So I think you play a magician who dabbles in both, like started off as a close-up magician and is now sort of learning the dark arts of the showman side as well.
Yeah. Maybe are you an assistant of one of the showmen or something? I don't know.
You are, but you're also a close-up magician. So you're wanting to get into that, and you realized, the assistant does all the job, does all the magic. So
is it one of these things where like you were one of the top close-up magicians, you never showed your face, and then you like damaged your hand or something, and so now you can't.
A la your Stephen Strange sort of thing where you've
I guess yeah. Just that you're not dexterous enough to do that sort of work anymore. And so you've had to defect to the other side, essentially.
Yep.
Without disclosing who you are.
But now you show your face. And someone's wearing someone someone who killed was seen walking away with your old mask on.
Yes. That's great. They're using your persona. Everyone's like, but the magic. No, you wouldn't call yourself the magic.
The masked cardsman or whatever. You know,
the card coxman. The cardtacular.
The cardtacular.
Candace Cardtacular. That was your stage name. Hasn't been seen around for 10 years, but is now back, but has murdered someone. Basically, that's what everyone thinks they've murdered. You've murdered someone, and so you have to.
You see it on the news, and then it does like a thing going back in time, showing your mask and how you hung it up and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
and that wasn't you that did that. Like,
no, you've been busy with this buffoon of a show magician or whatever, just like helping him. You've essentially raised him up the ranks as the assistants do.
As the best assistants do.
Yeah. And then I like that, you've got that comic relief of that character, some sort of up himself.
I mean, have you seen the incredible Burt Wonderstone?
Yeah.
That scene where like he no longer has his friend on stage and he's seen crawling up because there's no one to distract him anymore. There's just a scene like that where he's literally crawling up the stairs.
Maybe that's in the flashback too. That's where you found him. That's what he was doing before you found him and made him into a star.
That was so cool, that movie, though. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah. Or was it Steve Carell and
Steve Buscemi?
Steve Buscemi, right. But wasn't, what's his name?
Jim Carrey
was in it. No, who played Job on Arrested Development? What's his name?
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett. Wasn't Will Arnett in that? I feel like maybe he was in it.
He might have been. I need to watch it again because it is so good.
No, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. He just seems like the sort of person who would have been in it. Maybe I'm like getting it mixed up because of his role on Arrested Development where he was an illusionist.
Illusionist, yes. It's so good though. Like Steve Carell did such a good job.
Steve Carell's fucking fantastic.
And Steve Buscemi as his, his friend Anton Marvelton. So good. Yeah, I know. I can see just all the different beats that this could hit, and taking it super seriously, and you're trying to figure it out as well as basically this person's going on a crime spree.
Yeah,
and
you're going to each crime scene and like finding stuff, but using maybe getting some of your old close up magic tricks back. So you have to use like sleight of hand to take things. And
what if someone actually knew who you actually were, like in the past, right? And so therefore, like they're coming to you and going, I know who you are, and if you don't pay me this much money, I'm going to go to the police and tell them exactly who you are. And
twists and turns and stuff in there. And if you write it well, which we're not doing here on the podcast, but
fuck no,
they can all like tie in together really nicely to come together to the big reveal.
Yeah,
who is doing it then? Let's at least figure out like who is actually doing this. It's got to be someone from your past or someone who's otherwise around.
I think it's the assistant that you took over from. They found out your secret as like a previous close-up magician. They're not happy because now you're reaping all the benefits of this magician who's now up in the upper echelons and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
and so they're just bitter.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. We'd introduce them in like the flashback. They were the previous assistant with them doing a shit job, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's that they've developed their skills over the last 10 years that you've been doing this, and this is their way of like showing it.
Yeah.
They're like they can put one over on all the magicians, then everyone will know they're the best.
And just the idea of the sort of finale is you showing, doing both show magician stuff.
Yes.
And close
doing
up.
Both. Yeah.
Like doing both and showing it's still magic. It's all magic.
It's all magic.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I think that's a good place to end for the night.
Absolutely. I think we had 3 really fun world building kind of games tonight.
I have no idea what I'm going to call this episode, but you already know, lovely viewer,
the Candace
listener.
trilogy. The 3 lives of Candace Cocktacular.
No, I cannot put that in. Candace Cardtacular.
Candace Cuntacular. Candace. Okay, cut that out. Cool. All right.
Oh, shit.
Well, thank you for joining us this week on Bitstorm. If you would like to find any of our previous episodes, go to podchaser.com/Bitstorm. Find all of them there.
Cool. And if you like the song that we play at the start and end of each podcast recording, whatever we call this thing.
What is this thing we're doing?
What is this thing? If you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, that song is called Mount Defiance of the album Containment Failure. I found like 13 of those CDs. So if you really want one,
yeah. Send us a name. Send post.
No. Send us a screenshot of you giving us a 5-star review, and
sure,
maybe I'll send you one out. Like,
yeah, it's a real copy. We'll even sign it if we really want to be douchey for that reason. and there are a few signed copies of not of that. Maybe. Oh no, I think of that.
Of that, yeah,
and I think even of. Initialize out there, but
the album that I didn't play on. I played on the remaster.
Anyway, that's also around. That's right. Anyway, yes. Thank you for joining us. Thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trev Scott.
Oh, and I'm Rocky the Fifth.
Look at my blurred penis.
You can't look at my cock. It's blurred. Candace, turn off the blur filter. I want them to see it.